Hello, everyone. This is the SIG release weekly meeting for September 6th, 2022. And this is our first time on the new schedule for the meeting. I'm happy to see that we got a good number of people here. As a reminder, this meeting is it's governed under the Kubernetes Code of Conduct. So be mindful of what you say and do because we are recording this meeting to the public internet. And remember to be awesome to each other. My name is Adolfo Garcia. I'm going to be your host today. We have somewhat packed agenda for the day, so let's start with the giving an opportunity to any new members to say hello. And if you want to state what your interest is in SIG release and say hi. Otherwise, we can say so later if you want to.
I can say hi. I'm new to the SIG release meeting, but I think I've worked with pretty much everybody here. I'm Mark. I'm SIG Windows chair, but I've also been working on the enhancements team, release team last release, and I've been helping with the switch to project boards for that. So just thought I'd show up here too.
Awesome, Mark. We're super happy to have you here, of course.
Yeah, thank you.
Anybody else want to say hi? Okay.
Well, I can say hi. Although I'm also working with most of you outside of this, so I'm Fred, and I'm currently the comms lead for version 1.26. So obviously, being here, it's just another way of catching up and trying to help and to learn.
Nice to have you, friend. And of course, you can say hi if you want to again. We don't get tired of friendly faces. All right. Anybody before I kick it to the sub-project updates? Boom. All right, so let's go to sub-project updates. Anybody would like to give an update on release engineering? We have a bunch of release engineering topics for open discussion anyway, but if anybody wants to give a few words.
I'll just say some heads up. 9th of this month, which is like Friday, is the cherry pick deadline for this month's patch releases. And we will be doing this month's patch releases next Wednesday. We're for sure doing 1.23, 1.24, and 1.25. 1.22 is still conditional on the basis of whether we have critical bug fixes or CVs for that branch. And that's all I had.
Yeah, so
I will take care of the cherry picks as I have done over the past few cycles. So if you want to help me, that's great. But it'll be done between today and tomorrow and the next day.
Yeah, thank you. So I've been doing some cherry pick reviews myself over this week, and just a reminder to all release managers, this is part of the work we're supposed to do. The earlier we can do the cherry picks, it's better for gaining better signal in the overall project, but also it's helpful for the authors to know that we have their changes in mind. And so I can one thing I can let out for people doing the cherry picks is we are most likely going to cut 122 release. So if you see any patch releases that need to be backported to the 122 branch and or are missing the 122 backport, please make a note on those cherry picks to the authors. All right. Thank you, Mohammed, for letting me know that my voice was a little bit quiet. All right. I guess this also segues nicely to the release team updates. If anybody wants to give one.
I can give an update. So we are in the first week, so that's great. The release cycle starts. The schedule has been finalized last week, and also the shadow application form closed last Friday. And right now the team leads are selecting the shadows. And I think next week on the 12th, we expect that the team is set up. So every shadow should be selected. And right then last week and also the last days, there's been quite some traffic regarding the enhancement project board and how we track enhancements. This change. We had a meeting on last Thursday, so we discussed everything and sent out notification emails to the community. So hopefully this change will be smooth and everything. Some process to automate, for example, the project board is still work in progress, but the changes which are relevant for the community or the SIG leads, this should not be affected. So hopefully we don't have to adjust anything. And all in all, it looks fine. Ryla, the enhancements project lead, is currently out of office, which is a bit concerning, but we try to contact him and push things forward. And yeah, that's it.
Thanks, Leo. Looks okay. I mean, concerning, but it's still early days, so we can.
Yeah, right now we don't have the shadow selected. That's a problem, but I guess we can. I don't know, Navarun, do you want to comment on this? I think we can send out the email informing the community and everything. So, and we also have two previous leads in the lead shadow group, so maybe we can handle things. Right now, it's not 100% clear when he returns. Hopefully soon, but yeah.
Yeah, I think that's the right way. For the shadows, since we have abstracted out the Google Sheets right now, we don't need the sheets, and we will be doing mostly everything through project boards. It should be like less work at the start. And since everything is on GitHub, it should be much more streamlined. And anyways, like I agree, we have like people in the team who have experience with enhancements to take care of. So I guess we're yellowish green, but it would be fine. I mean, we can obviously like return back to this assessment and think what we should do.
All right. Any questions for Leo or Nabrun? Lots of offers to help with the enhancements effort. Okay. All right. So let's move to our open discussion topics. The first one is from Leo again, release team shadow analysis report.
Yeah, just a short one. So this release, we finally used the shadow application tool. So there's a tool which generates diagrams, which gives some general information about the shadows without revealing any information, and also generating markdown files, which we send out for just ease the selection process. And the diagrams for 1.26 are ready, and there's an issue open to discuss if we can publish everything. So in the report to the community, if you have like any input, any concerns or anything, feel free to add a comment, and hopefully we can push the first report out to the community soon. Yeah, that's it.
Great. So I have one question, but anybody has questions about the shadow stats? Okay, so well, my question was more on the release infrastructure for that repo. When you opened the PR last week, I completely missed it because it wasn't one of the repositories that I usually am looking at. I now added it to my daily list of things I do. But do you need anything in terms of automation or release tooling or anything on that repo?
Yes. So right now there's like a one I need to define or document which steps are needed before each release. But since we update the application form every time, or mostly every time, we also need to make some small adjustments. So there's like a one file configuration. So the automation part of things might be a little bit tricky, but currently there's not much needed else than defining how the report should look like, if there are like any diagrams missing. So we can be very creative because we collect quite a bit of information. But besides that, I think for now it's good.
Awesome. Well, if you need anything, just be vocal about it and tag us on the repository, and happy to help you.
Awesome, thank you.
Any other questions for Leo? All right. So next topic from me, just a note that I got the Salsa provenance tester that I've been working on for like 1 or 2 months now to a working state, and I started running some tests on the building Kubernetes releases with it. I haven't yet tested it end to end because I need some infrastructure changes that I have to do on the release project, but it's working, and I started the donation process. And this is one, just wanted to let everyone know that the donation process is going. And the other one is that if anybody wants to be an early tester of generating Salsa provenance for their projects, we should be able to do it. The only requirements is one, that your project builds on either Google Cloud Build or GitHub Actions. And if that's the case, then we most certainly can make it work.
I want to propose Vitesse to be a
tester. I'm planning to return to the meetings really soon.
Okay, let's talk soon.
All right, and if there's any questions or whatever, just let me know. It gained, I just wanted to tell you, gained a lot of features which weren't planned on the early stages. It can now natively send pops of messages to trigger itself on early stages. It now can collect artifacts from the native artifacts from the build systems, from buckets, it can read SBOMs and attestations to collect the list of artifacts. So it's packed with a lot of things. I'm hoping to do a demo real soon. All right. But enough of that. So next one, Jeremy, meeting at donation.
Yeah, so thanks everybody for attending today, our new meeting time. Mohammed pointed out in Slack that this overlaps with the SIG testing meeting, and I was going to propose that we swap the alternations. So normally next week would have been the old meeting time. So what I'm proposing basically is just like, we'll do the next meeting at this time, and then we'll be on the right cadence after that, and it should alternate with the SIG testing meeting. I think it's important for us to not conflict with that, because there are times where folks might need to go to one or the other.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, so next one, same time as today, and then we'll start.
I think that probably solves the conflict with the docs as well, because docs is monthly, I believe.
No, it's bi-weekly as well. So
Is it bi-weekly?
switching, yeah. So switching the next week, we'll put it on the same. We'll put it on
Oh,
the
yeah,
right
you're right.
cadence. But they'll alternate as well. That'd be good.
Yeah.
Cool. Sorry we didn't catch that when we had the open comment section. So many different things to keep track of, and I didn't even see it when I was making the calendar invites.
Yeah, for some reason, Tuesdays seem to be like a really contested day for open source meetings. It also
Yeah.
conflicts with the SIG meeting and the SPDX tech meeting, which is kind of in our realm too. So, but well.
SIG node is every Tuesday at this time too.
Oh,
All the things.
So many
Okay.
meetings, so little time.
So I'll send another message to the sorry, to the mailing lists with a summary of this, and then I'll update the calendar invites and get bombarded by a bunch of messages from Google again. It's really cool to, like, just as an aside, to watch the history of companies. There's a whole lot of folks subscribed to the SIG release mailing list from Heptio, which obviously those addresses don't exist anymore. And VMware used to use a weird GCP subdomain. And there's a whole lot of folks from VMware that are subscribed, like with .gcp or at gcp.vmware.com, which also doesn't exist anymore. Should see if we can prune the list up.
email archaeology there. All right. Any questions for Jeremy? Okay. And so, and our last topic for in the open discussion list is something which just was raised like an hour or so ago in our Slack, which is around but doing the Mac code signing thing for the Kubernetes organization binaries. This was specifically brought by the KCP folks. So the idea is that if you want to run binaries in your Mac, they have to be signed by authorized CA from Apple. And this has been an issue that has been raised many times by other projects. I linked an issue from Minikube. We now have the KCP one. And since we are working on redoing the way we release the artifacts, I thought it might be a good time to start discussing this and ensuring that we consider this in the road ahead. This doesn't have to be a P0 priority just now, but we should start thinking about it because it involves not only doing the implementation, but we need to get some funding, and we need to, unless we do my proposal to do a chip-in fundraiser, and but it also involves planning around access to the credentials that's going to be used to sign. Yeah, Mark.
Yeah, I also noticed that there was an issue in, I think, Kubernetes about having the Windows binaries be signed. I was wondering if that's an older issue, but if that had been discussed before, or maybe good time to figure out how to sign lots of different platforms all at once.
Yeah, I think it's a good time because we're redoing the signing of the system packages. We're moving. We're planning on moving some of the artifact builds to make them also maybe run through promotion in via the file promoter, just as we do with container images. So it would be a good time. This is not something, for example, that I have in mind constantly, because since I never use them, it's not an issue that comes to my mind frequently. So I think it's if you have folks that are interested in the project, it would be a good time to bring them over to the meetings. And if you have experience or people that can help, it would be mostly appreciated, both for Windows and Mac binaries too.
Well, I think I could find some people who might be interested in the Windows side of things.
Awesome. That would be super grateful. So some of for example, Arno linked an issue that he already requested funding for an Apple developer account for us to have access to the signing for a signing account. So yeah, I don't know. Go ahead.
I just want to say that this was brought to steering in May of this year about basically how we can handle binary signature for OS different than Linux. And I think there was like a conversation. I can put the link of the recording for this meeting. There were like conversation about how CNCF handle that, or maybe a developer can pay for that and we get reimbursement. So I think it would be interesting to basically raise a different issue in funding, in the funding report, about basically say, oh, we have 2 or 3 programs we need to buy for binary signature and bring that to steering. And next steering meeting is like next Monday. So they will basically, the person will be, they will raise the issue to CNCF and they will try to act as a proxy between CNCF and us about funding. I can bring the conversation to steering next Monday. If there's no one.
Yeah, I think it's a good idea if anybody wants to join. I don't know that. I would love to be there, but I'm going to be traveling next week, so I can most likely not be there. But if anybody wants to join them, would be pretty cool.
I can do it.
And oh, thank you, Jordan. And also we need to have some conversations with people who know how this stuff works and see how we can integrate that. And just to start drafting a design and other maybe other resources that we may require, like maybe Apple hardware, things like that. So I say that it's a good time to start organizing around a plan to do it. All right. So any thoughts or questions around signing or specific binaries?
Are there things we need to do for Windows as well? Or is it just like the initial thing is just the Mac stuff?
Windows is slightly different. For that one, you need to go to a CA and get a certificate from them for code signing, and then you just sign the binaries.
Yeah, you need to make, I think the easiest way is to make like a MSDN account, and then you can get your certificates, and the tool chain's all open, but you do need to get your certificates to sign it.
I don't think for next Monday is just about getting funding for the Microsoft program and the Apple program. This is like a financial issue we need basically to address, and we have a Windows opportunity. We can do that. So Mark, if you have any docs about what's the pricing for this program, please drop it in SIG release Slack channel.
Okay, I can do that.
Thank you.
Yeah, and as Navaron suggested, if they have opportunities for nonprofit like the CNCF to participate in those would be also great. All right. Any other thoughts on that? Right. That was the last of the open discussion items. Does anybody have a subject that they would like to discuss, or maybe we can give everybody like some minutes back? Bye, Jeremy.
Have a great day, everybody.
Okay,
Bye.
so thanks everybody for coming, and we're still going on with the binary conversation on Slack if you want to join. So thank you, and see everybody next week.
See y'all.